Hello guys. Can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me well? Let's wait a little bit, a few more minutes so that more members can join. We are starting soon. All right, I think we're gonna start now, and yeah, other folks they can hop in later. So yeah, it's been another week, a lot of more updates and progress that we would like to catch up with you guys. And joining the session today, we have Lin, our CEO. He's gonna update with us in the second part. So in today's community call, we are going to cover two things. The first thing is some of the progress and updates regarding our protocol execution and community campaigns in the last week. And some of the call to actions that we need from you guys for the upcoming votings. And in the second part, we are going to I will hand over it to Ling, and he's going to share more about the first project that Hectagon is going to invest, which is Open Food Chain, a layer 1 project, a very exciting one. And I can't wait to hear more about this project as well. So in the first section of today, I'm going to cover first, the update about buyback and burn. Second is the update about the adjusting APY. And third is the some of the summary of the community campaigns that is going on, and you guys can hop in, join, contribute, and earn more. So first, the buyback and burn. So in last week, on the last day of August, the Guardian team has performed the buyback and burn to reduce hectare in circulation with the mission to raising demands for hectare. So some of the facts and figures from our latest burn that we want to update with you guys. So in total, we have burned more than 24,000 hectare, and the approximate value in USD that we have spent to buy back hectare is 51,000 USD. And in the last 2 days, we have shared with you an update from the product team that share in details of all of the transactions that has been executed by the Guardian but in this buyback and burn campaign. So buyback and burn is executed through the treasury, and the token burn will have no impact on the investment funds. All of the actions will be recorded frequently and transparently, not only this time, but also in the buyback and burn next time in our Hectagon treasury update for complete transparency. And we will update with you in 24 hours or less. So what we expect next is that we will lower staking APY as in the previous announcement, which in the community, which will impose a direct positive impact. As we will keep the reward pool more healthy and balanced. And also, besides, the investment is in good progress. we are ready to share some of the good news about our first deals in the second part of the call today. So in second, I'm going to share about the APY. So APY, adjusting APY, is one of the anti-inflation mechanism of Hectagon. So adjusting APY, it helps the project to be sustainable and benefits all Hectare holders in the long term. The lower APY will help keep the protocol less likely to get manipulated by whales, which will gradually impose a positive influence on Hectare price. So by exercising the anti-inflation adjusting APY, some benefits and some impacts that we can see can be named as firstly, existing holders and stakers won't have any disadvantage, as everyone has had the first month to accumulate tokens through staking, and the APY will gradually go down in the next 60 days before stabilization, so everyone still has a chance to accumulate tokens faster. And the second thing is that reducing APY will also have a positive effect on new users, as it will be easier for them to catch up with existing users through contributions. It is also easier for them to gain a position in our fund, which will be a motivation for us to attract more of them. And thirdly, staking pool will remain the same, which is 20% of the token supply, but we will launch a new mechanism that is suggested by some of the DAO members through the forum when we propose this as a campaign, that we will have a base rate of APR for every holder, and multiple time-based staking periods, which is the longer the period, the higher APY it will offer to the holders. So you can think that it's the same scheme of interest as a bank. So we have proposed an idea of adjusting APY on the Hectagon forum, and it ended with 88% for, meaning yes vote. So the proposal is now uploaded to Snapshot for all of the G Hectare holders to vote. So if you are a holder, if you are holding Hectare, if you are staking, let's come to exercise your governance power in the Snapshot. So we have shared the link to the proposal where you can vote in the announcement yesterday. So please come to. Sorry, James. I will. Yeah. So let's come to the snapshot and exercise your governance power. So yeah, the third topic that I want to share today is about the ongoing community campaigns. I want to summarize some of the ongoing campaigns that every DAO members, every Hectare holders can participate in. According to your capability, your interest, or your time commitment. So the first thing is, so we have 3 segments of the community campaigns that is going on. The first one is the community management. The second one is the marketing promotion, and the third one is the investments. So in the first community management, we have 3 campaigns that is going on. The first one is the Angel Alliance, in which you can earn up to 15 hectare per month. So we currently have an Angels Alliance of around 12 angels that is very active in helping new members, supporting them to understand more about Hectare and addressing your concerns in the group chat. And we are still open to welcome new angels to join workforce. So if you are interested, you can read more on the forum. I will send you the summary of the links to all of the proposal of the ongoing campaigns in the group chat later. The second campaigns that you can join is the Lead Up Kingdom, meaning that you can volunteer to be a moderator, either in the global group or in the local group. So the local of the group chat of the community will be voted by all of our community members. So if a group chat in the top 3 of the votes, or it has at least 100 members that the moderator committed that he can bring, then we will agree to open the local group chat. So the moderators of the global or the local group chat will be rewarded from 30 to 50 hectare per month. So yeah, it's very competitive if you compare with the same position in other projects as well. And the third community management campaign that is opening is the community engagement multi-events that is currently managed by Dorf and Macy, our CMs, our community managers. They will propose weekly multiple events and campaigns. For example, like the I don't know the exact name, but it's a game that Dorf is opening daily for all the members to join and earn hectare if you are a winner, something like that. So they will raise multiple events and campaigns like that daily, so that it will be a chance for all of the hectare holder of the community members to participate in, to join, to chat more, and to contribute more and earn more hectares. So you can earn at least or up to 10 hectare per month. So the details of the mechanisms of each events and campaigns will be shared with you by our CMs in the group chat, in the global group chat. And the second segment of the community campaigns that is going on is the marketing promotion. So as a DAO, we welcome everyone to help us to promote and to do marketing efforts on Hectagon. So the first campaign that is going on is the Twitter ambassador. So if you have at least 500 followers on Twitter, you are legit to join this campaign. So it's basically that you will tweet about hectare, retweet about our important announcements, and also help us to spread about Hectagon name branding to other community, other KOLs as well, by commenting in their post with relevant content. So you can earn up to 5 hectare per month by being our Twitter ambassador. And the second campaign is the content creator. So if you are a blog writer or if you are a video creator, then you can review about Hectagon and earn up to 50 hectare per product. It can be either video or blog or article. So everyone can join this campaign. And the third one is the KOL affiliate program that we are currently running with more than 20 KOLs at the moment. So basically, we will create an affiliate link for them, and they will help to promote about Hectagon and the benefits of holding Hectare token to their community members. And in return, they will earn from 5% of all of the Hectare token sales value through their affiliate link. So currently, it is only available for registered KOL, but in the future, in September, we are planning to open this campaign to everyone. So it's like a referral campaign that everyone can register to be our like referral affiliate partner, and you can promote about Hectare on different social medias or social community channels, and earn the commission based on the sales of the Hectare buy through website that you can bring to the protocol. Because when people buy Hectare on website, it will contribute directly to our treasury and to the protocol. That's why that we want to reward people who help us to promote and to attract more buyers into Hectare by through the website. So by through these marketing promotion campaigns, we expect to leverage the network, the word of mouth network of micro influencer or anyone like us to help Hectagon branding to reach to more and more people out there. And the third campaign, the third segment of campaigns is investments. Sorry. So last week we just launched a venture partner program, which we will welcome any investment associates or investment partners in VCs or in accelerator, incubator, or launchpads or layer one projects to join and become a venture partner of Hectagon. So their job is they will find a project that is suitable for our stage of investment, that is suitable for our investment criteria, and refer it to Hectagon. So in return, if the deals is got selected to invest by our protocol, then the venture partner will get the commission, that they will earn a reward of up to 1% of the deal size. So everyone is actually can participate in this venture partner program as long as you have some backgrounds in investments, in venture capital, and you have access to a lot of projects, potential projects out there. So besides opening it for everyone to register to join, we are also actively seeking for to some venture partners who are working in renowned projects, renowned VCs and layer one projects like Polkadot or Sequoia or Hash or Huobi, so that they can become our venture partner and refer many potential projects into our protocol to review. Yes, so that is the snapshot, the summary of many ongoing community campaigns that I suggest that you guys should take a look in the forum. I will send this summary in the group chat later so that you can check out more, read more about the mechanisms, and see if you are a good fit. If you are a good fit, I suggest that you should register to join, contribute to the DAO, and earn more hectare. Yes, so that is basically the first part of the community call today that I want to share with you about the progress and about what's going on in the last week. So now we are going to move on to the second part of the call, which is related to the investments. So as I've shared earlier, that our investment team has come to the final process with a layer one project, which is open food chain. And today, Ling, our CEO, is going to share more about the project, about his rationale, about the insights of or the whole process, why he thinks that open food chain is a very good project, that we should open the opportunity to invest into them right now. So Ling, you there?
Yeah, hi Felicia. Hi everyone.
Hi, Lynn. Yes. So we are eager to learn more about open food chain and the process with them so far. So can you share a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. Let me just share my screen and then we can start.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. So before we go specifically into the project open food chain, let's just quickly go through the current status of the investment pipeline that we have. So so far we had 208 projects that applied into our pipeline. And then we have so far managed to review about 52 projects, and then there's lot more that is still under review. And open food chain is one of this project. Before we go into the investment memo for open food chain, you guys can actually go on their website openfoodchain.com to check out the investment deck and the white paper. Okay, so let's go into the investment memo. So what you see here is it's basically every piece of information and research that the investment teams work working on for this project on food chain. So for today, we cover the investment memos, which is basically is an executive summaries of all the research that we did, and it outlines the basis of why we're recommending that that Hectagon should investing into the project Open Food Chain. So all these information that I shared today, it will be available later on our forums and also on Snapshot for the committee to vote on. Okay, so let's get started. Open Food Chain. First of all, Open Food Chain is a okay. Let's just go into the investment memo. Okay. Right. So when we prepare the documentations and then doing research on a project to be able to to reach a decision on whether or not that Hectagon should invest in a project, usually there's a lot of materials and research that we need to go through. So in order to make it simpler for any community members who want to check on a on a decision on why Hectagon invest in certain projects, and also make it more simpler for the investment council members to go through our work and approve or veto our decisions. Every project will prepare a investment executive summaries. Basically, if you don't have a lot of time, or if you don't like to read all the research, you can just read this investment executive summaries, and it should outline all the information that you need. So before we go specifically into Open Food Chain, I just want to, because this is the first time that we present an investment, I just want to quickly go through the structure of the investment memo. So for an investment memo, usually what you will find is a quick introduction about the projects, what they do, and also their market opportunities. And then you also find within this market that they are operating in, what are the key problems of this market and how their solutions solve this problem. The second major part is every information related to their business model, basically how they make money, their current traction. And then the third part is about the teams and the companies that are running this project. And then the fourth part is we'll cover the tokenomics and what we think about the current tokenomics of the project. And then afterward, what you can find is basically on the notes from the investment teams. We provide commentaries, opinions on different aspects of the projects, like on what we think about the market opportunities, what is their strength, what is their weakness, what we think about the teams, what we think about their current tractions, what we think about the tokenomics. So all of these informations is also available on a more detailed research as well. And then finally, there's an investment proposals. So basically, when you start voting for a project, when we upload it on Snapshot, these are the basic information that you can that you should read through. Okay, so I think that's everything for the introduction of how an investment memo is structured. Let's just go into the details of Open Food Chain. So Open Food Chain, they are a traceability solution for the food industry. So basically, you have your food, and then in order for your food to arrive at the table for you to eat, there's a whole supply chain that go with it, that go from the seed, from the soil, to the processing, to the logistics, and being able to trace all of that steps from many different players in the ecosystem is a big deal. It has been a major problems that we want to use technology to solve for a very long time. But so far, there hasn't been a perfect solution yet. So if we just look at the food traceability market, the market size is estimated to be about $16 billion in 2020. In 2020, that's 2 years ago, and it's projected to reach $26 billion in 2025. So that's give the market growth rate of about 10% a year. So currently, this is already a major market for any companies that operating in it. So what's the key problems of this market that currently no one has been able to solve it completely? The first one is that the cost and complexity of doing traceability for the phone supply chain is just too big for any players to bear the cost. Let's just imagine a supply chain going from farmers who grow the food, and then to the processors to own the logistic in between, and then to the supermarket, and then you buy the food from the supermarket to the table. In that supply chain, it's not just one player that doing everything from A to Z. There's many players involved in between. And the problem here is, in order for you to do traceabilities, everybody have to work together. And we are talking about separate companies that sometimes compete with each other. And we ask and traceability ask them to work together to provide a complete solution for the consumer. That's a very big ask. Coordinating that work is hard work. And let's say if a major player in that supply chains want to do everything on their own, usually they can't bear the cost by themselves. The second problem is that there are blockchain solutions that are already available, but for most of these solutions, they are private blockchains. And the problem with private blockchain is that they are very centralized, which lead to fragmentation in terms of there's many private blockchains that hold little bit of information here and there, but and also it's very prohibit for other players in the ecosystem to join freely. And third one is even if we use blockchains to keep the data, there's no guarantee that the data that coming into the blockchain is the correct one. So that's also a major problem. So how Open Food Chain tackle this problem? So first of all, Open Food Chain they use a concept where they will go and start different industry foundations. So let's just go into let me just quickly explain what the industry foundation is. So Open Food Chain, the idea of an industry foundation for them is that even in the food traceability field, there's many different food industries. For example, there's juice, there's olive oils, there's cacao, the cafes. All of these are separate industries that have their own supply chains. So rather than just building one solutions for every industry to connect it to, what Open Food Chain going to do is they're going to talk with major players in different industries, in different food industries, and then just have these players to work together to start an industry foundation. And later, in a little bit, I'll go into more details of a pilot that they already did for the juice industries, called Juicy Chain. And you can see how these big players in an industry, they come together, start a foundation, start a side chains that start attracting members of that juice industry to participate in and provide traceability data for that juice supply chains. And the idea is that Open Food Chains will have a master foundation on top called Open Food Chain Foundations that support from many different smaller industry foundation like juice, like olive oils, like cacao, and each of these industry foundations will run their own side chains that will aggregate all the data onto the main Open Food Chain layer 1. Yeah, let's just go back to the investment memo here. And the idea of creating many industry foundations that run by themselves and work together to maintain many side chains that run alongside each other to aggregate data to the main Open Food Chains layer 1 help share the cost between all the layers in the ecosystem, all the players in the ecosystem, which allow for a cheap solution that everybody can use and build together. And that's also how Open Food Chain able to build a public blockchains for food traceabilities. And the second major features of this chain is that for the ecosystem players to write the data into the chain, it's completely free. So they don't have to pay gas fee to do it, because basically, if you charge gas fee on food traceabilities, even just a little bit of money on each transactions, that add up very quickly because even for a small players in the ecosystem, they might write like thousands or 10,000 transactions per day, depends on what type of data and what part of the supply chain that they belong to. So charging gas fee to write data on the transaction on the blockchains is a big barriers of entry for everyone. So Open Food Chain managed to come up with a different way. Rather than charging gas fee, they come up with a different ways to motivate people to maintain the chains and validate the nodes, and also have mechanism to prevent to enforce accuracy and anti-fraud on that chain. Right. So for every summary that you can find in the investment summary, there's always a link at the end where you can click in, and then you can see a more detailed research if you want to take your time and go through them. Okay, so let's go into the second part of the investment memo. So why do we think investing in Open Food Chain is a good idea? So first of all, the market is the problems that Open Food Chain solve is a real major problems that not just only limited to Web3, but it actually started in Web2 and get a lot of attentions from major organizations in the world. That give Open Food Chain a strong foundation to build their business on, and then using Web3 solution to solve this problem is what we like. So how are they doing with the traction at the moment? First of all, let's cover the how Open Food Chain is going to make money or currently making money. The way that Open Food Chains, the companies that running these projects, will making money is earlier when we covered the concept of starting industry foundations. These industry foundations, when the big organizations they band together and start an industry foundation, it's not for free. So these the founders of the industry foundation, they will have to pool money together to start their own side chain, and the development cost for a side chain is about 200,000 euros. And this money is the revenue coming into Open Food Chains foundations and Open Food Chain layer 1. so this is the so for every side chain that started, it will generate revenues for Open Food Chain. And then after that revenue is generated on the one-time setup fee, every year there's going to be a 20% of the 20% in maintenance cost, giving Open Food Chain a sustainable revenue model. And then that's just the that's just starting the chain. But then for a side chain to run effectively, the industry foundation, they will need to go and also onboard the members of their supply chain onto that chain and start writing data. So so for the members, it's going to be depends. The members of the supply chain, they can choose to have Open Food Chain support them in terms of onboarding them onto these technologies, and that will cost about $5,000. And a lot of the when we go into the to one of the pilot that Open Food Chain already did, we can see that many have already paid this cost and bring revenue into Open Food Chain. But for the new members, there's also an option for them to just to just onboard themselves. So basically, there's a Open Food Chain provide a manual where these members can also, rather than paying money, they can just take their time and onboard themselves. So that will also allow smaller companies, smaller players to join the ecosystem as well. Yeah. So this model has been already successfully implemented in the juice industries, which is the first sidechain that they pilot for the for juice industries. And there's about 10% of the global industry players has already being onboarded, mostly by Open Food Chain themselves. And this year they will go into to launch at least 2 more chains. And they already launched another chain called Chef Chain, and then around the Q4 of this year they will launch another chains that in the olive oil industry. So that's the fiat business models that was still going on even after the token sales to give Open Food Chain a sustainable stream of revenues that allow them to continue to build the chains in the future. And then once the Open Food Chain launched that token, every chain, once Open Food Chain run that launch their tokens, they're going to have a business model related to that token as well, which I think we can cover later. Right. So the current traction, right now, Open Food Chain has already successfully piloted two other sidechain called Juicy Chain and Chef Chain, and then later this year they will going to launch another chain that related to olive oil industry. And these companies, they have operating profitably since 2019, and this is a big this is a major aspect of our review. During a bear market like this, having a projects that have already running profitably is going to reduce a lot of risk for any investment that we make, because they don't have to they can keep themselves alive and continue to develop the product, develop the layer 1 without having to rely too much on the crypto market and on their own token. And that can keep the business going until the market is pick up again. Right. And currently, these companies have 18 employees, 10 are full-time and 8 are freelancers. The key personnel, which mean the founder, CEO, and the direct report of founders, you can see their profile here that you can have a read through later. All of them have 10, 20 plus year experience in these industries, and it's a mature teams with impressive profile. Yep. So I think let's go into more detail of the tokenomic. Let's just zoom in. Easier for everybody to see. So for the tokenomics of open food chain, there's going to be you can quickly see this table here. There's going to be a total of 200 million food tokens. The food token is the native token for their layer 1 and all their sidechain. So far they have complete one round of fundraisings where they sell 9.5 million tokens to raise 550,000 euros. And I'll link the details of the investors at the end of this at the end of the tokenomics part. So let me just quickly highlight these this release schedule here. So what you can see here is first of all, in this tokenomics, they combine all the investment round together, and that's about 13% of all the tokens. And these have mixed lock with 4-month linear release. So the vesting schedule is quite short, and the mixed lock here is between 4 months to 8 months. We can go into more details later when we go into different rounds of fundraising. And then there's a pools of token that used for exchange and provide liquidities, which will get unlocked quite early after the TGs. But if you look at here, the majority of all the tokens is locked for at least 18 months to 24 months. The founder teams lock the token for 24 months before any vesting is happening. So if we look at the visualization of the token release, the quite nice things about that token is that for the first 2 years, for the first 2 years of the tokens, most of the supplies in the market it's just held by the investors and the liquidities and exchange pool. So what does that mean? What that means is that for the investor that joining into the investment of open food chain, the nice thing is there's no dilutions of the token supplies from other pools, like from the teams or the marketings or technical development or advisories and legals. And the reason that they're able to lock the token for so long, let's say for this technical developments pool where it's worth 40% of the total amount of tokens, they're able to lock them for 18 months without needing the token, is because the company is profitable, so they don't need to get access to the token right away. So that's quite nice. Basically, investors have the first 2 years where all the token on the market is just basically from the investors or from the liquidity pool. So that is quite favorable in terms of liquidities for investors. And and then you can basically see the token distributions and the use of the pre-sales fund here. Nothing jump out too much. For tokenomics, let me go deeper into the research, because I guess I think it's an important part of the investment decision. Right. So the founders and the teams, the founder will hold 10% of the tokens, and the team member will hold 5%. But it's all these tokens are locked for 24 months, so quite a long time. What else? Okay, so here's on the existing investors that has invested in the seed round of open food chains. We have Komodo platforms. They are also a technology partners. A lot of open food chain layer 1 technology is built based on the infrastructures of Komodo. Crypto Oasis, the founder of this fund is work at IBM and IBM Food Trust, which is both a competitors and a partners for open food chains. Marketmaker.io, they are the market maker behind DAO Makers and several other projects. 0x Design Capitals, this venture capitals run by one of the founding members of Polygon. So as you can see here, even though we don't see a familiar like tier 1 venture capitals name here, but on the existing investors are reputable organizations that we think can add a lot of value moving forward for the companies. And okay, so let's go a little bit into regarding the investment structures. Since the seed round has already closed, all these investors get to invest in the seed round. So Hectagon going into the private route, we're going to have to invest at a little bit of a premium price compared to the seed round investors. So what the current discussion with them so far is that Hectagon will provide between 100 to 200,000 euros in investment with a USD token. There's a possibility that we can negotiate a 20% discount, and we can also make this investment in 2 tranches. That means we don't need to send all the money right away. We can send it through 2 tranches to monitor the progress of the companies in between. And also we will be able to secure at least a pool of 10,000 euros of investment for our community members and our Hectare holders to just make investment directly into open food chain on the private route. The terms of how this will work, I think Felicia's will cover in a later date. So what I also want to highlight here is the quite nice thing in terms of the vesting schedule is that for the private routes, the lock and vesting is that there's 4 months lock on the token after the TGEs, and then a 4-month linear vesting. So if we look at that vesting schedule compared to the seed round vesting schedules, which is 8-month lock plus 4-month linear vesting. So what that means is that the investors in the private route, like Hectagon, like our community members, especially our community members, anyone who invests in open food chains can basically have all of their token unlocked and have all their token unlocked and receive all their token before the seed investor receive any tokens. So that's that's quite favorable in terms of liquidity for private investors. Yeah. Let's just go back to the investment memo. Right. Okay, so here I'll just quickly go through the comment of the investment teams that we make on open food chain based on our research. So in terms of the market opportunities, what we think is a strong argument for open food chain is that for supply chain traceability, the food market is the top priority market. So it's it is the market that receive a lot of attentions, receive a lot of financial support from different organizations that can provide any companies, including open food chain working in the market, a strong foundations to go out there and build their products, generating revenue. Another strong point, another strong opportunity is that most blockchain solution is still locked behind private blockchains, whereas open food chains they have shown that they uh, have the capability to at least design a solutions for a public chains that can solve a lot of the existing problem of the market. And another strong argument for open food chain is that the supply chain traceability is a problem that just too big for one players to solve. So for anyone to be able to win in this market, they will need to figure out a way to get the whole supply chains to work together. And so far, it seems like Open Food Chain has shown their capability to doing just that. So Open Food Chain is not perfect. The solution that they present, even though it solves a lot of the problem, but it's not solving all of the problems that currently preventing food traceability adoptions. You can actually read more on this point in the market research that we provide together with the investment memo. And also, this is not a like a blue ocean market. There are competitors working in both Web 2 and Web 3, and some of them are quite impressive. But we certainly don't think that anyone has like completely win this market yet. One of the key aspects for open food chain to to be able to be successful in the futures, we think is that is their ability to be able to involve at the start of the supply chains from the farmers to be involved. And so far in the pilots, they haven't been able to penetrate up to that levels of the supply chains. But in the solution and in the technical stack that they present, there are certain aspect of the solutions that give them an edge in terms of doing that. So I guess on this last point, we'll have to see. On the team and the companies, there's really nothing that we can we don't like. There's really nothing that we don't like about the team, except for currently there's a lack of a clear leader in marketing and community management, which is something that that we plan to work together with Open Food Chain on after we make the investment to help them build their communities before the TG of the token. In terms of the tractions, we think that for business tractions for the business tractions, Open Food Chain has shown really strong traction so far. On the traction of preparing for the TGs, they basically have not done any preparation yet. So again, this is in line with the part of lacking leaders in marketing and community management, which this is something that we plan to work together on with them to help them on this. Now on the tokenomics, we think the vesting schedule is great for investors, especially for private investors, where basically private investors get unlocked and receive all the tokens before the seed investors receive any tokens, and also the locking schedules on a lot of the pools in Open Food Chain is really long. So for the first 2 years, it's just going to be investor token available in the market, which when there's a buying pressure in the market, that's allowed investors to exit if anyone want to exit from the token. And there's a strong design for the buying pressure of the token as well. And mostly these buying pressure is coming from the B2B side. So for an industry foundations to be able to run their own sidechain, not only that they have to pay to set up their chain, but they also have to buy the food tokens and lock away a large amount of food tokens. Depends on the industries, but but they will need to lock away about anywhere between like $1 million to $10 million worth of food tokens to operating that chain. And then every members that joining the chains that want to write transaction and transact on the side chain, they will need to lock away about €10,000 worth of food tokens to start transacting. And if anyone is being a bad actors where they provide falsified information, part of the token will get burned. So that's how open food chains keep everybody honest without charging gas fee. So on the B2B side, I think that will provide good buy pressures for the token holders. And of course, on the tokenomics, the last part is that the Open Food Chain Foundation, they doesn't need to rely on the food token to sustain the business because they already profitable with their existing business that will continue to grow in the futures. So that gives them a lot of time to just develop this solution for the long terms and growing the token ecosystem over time. Right. So what we don't like about the tokenomics is, of course, the price. We're going in the private route, so we have to pay a premium. Also, the public price at launch is about that put the full fully diluted valuation at 36 million euros, which is quite high. But again, this is fully diluted. This is fully diluted valuations. The actual valuation of the token at launch is only about 2 million. And one of the major part that we also need to work with them on is currently there's like any utility for retail investor to buy and hold the token, because in the longer term future there is utilities because when Open Food Chain has a lot of data on that layer one, they can serve as an oracle to any app developers who want to build financial apps or any apps that using data from the food industries, and then that those apps can serve the consumers, and everything has to be transacted in food token. But right in the beginning of after the TGs, mostly the retail investor will just participating in anticipation of price. Right. So I think that's covered cover everything on Open Food Chains. This investment memo together with a proposals will be put on our forums and on Snapshot for everybody to vote on. The voting period is going to be 1 week. So by the end of next week, we around Thursday, Friday next week, we're going to know whether or not this investment this proposal get approved by the investment council and our communities. Okay, back to you, Felicia.
Thank you, Ling. I think that's super. Yeah, I'm very impressed by the level of the research and due diligence that investment team has put together into this investment memo. I think that all of the community member, we can be assured that with this very well thought of level of research, due diligence, that Ling and investment team has put together, we can be assured for every investment decision that we're going to make. So what's next, Ling? So in the next week, we will share this investment memo to the community, right? And then we will have the investment council vetoes, and then the last step is the community vetoes. Is that right?
Yes. So I was hoping to be able to put the proposal out during this weekend. So right now, all the research has been done. What's left is that we need to structure some of the data to make sure that the access to the data is correct for everyone.
Yep. Yeah, this looks amazing. So guys, I and Link have been working in the Web2 VCs for the last 10 years. And trust me, this level of investment memo is actually normally it's a level of millions dollars deal. We are making just 100, 200K deals. But yeah, we have this investment memo. So you can be assured that the team is putting very well thought into it. And yes, you also have the right to have the governance power in whether or not Hectagon will invest into this. And Ling also mentioned that we will have a pool for all of the Hectare holders to participate in directly into the private round of open food chain, and also for the upcoming deals in the future. That details scheme and mechanisms, we are drafting it, and we expect to share with the community in the next 2 weeks, as soon as possible. We are trying to finalize that, and we will propose to the community. So I think that we will start with a lean version, so that we can start as soon as possible for the open food chain first, and then the final scheme and mechanisms for all of the future deals for Hectare holders to participate directly into the investment pool of the upcoming projects. We can define that later. Yeah, so I think that's basically for today. So now coming to the last section, Q&A session. Do you have any questions regarding Hectagon, our protocol, our progress, or yeah, directly into our upcoming deals? Do you have any questions? You can raise your hand, and yeah, we will come to you. Yeah, I saw Ryan and Eden, so maybe we'll start with Ryan.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Everyone.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So I have a question for the Hectagon team, Lynn and also Felicia. So I've been following since the launch from Pincel.
Yeah.
I think it's an amazing idea, especially the open food chain as well as Hectagon itself. I feel like the team has been working really hard. I just want to ask this question though. I know that all these projects are great, are amazing, and we can experience becoming an investor and everything. So I'm just wondering what your plan is to attract more holders for the token itself, because obviously this project can be really big, but then obviously it also needs awareness, massive awareness. So I'm not talking just about marketing, but then how are you going to get more holders and get more users for Hectagon, especially? I guess that's my question. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Ryan. That's a very good question. I hear a little bit of echo, so can you mute yourself so that I can answer you? Yes, it's great.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, it's better now. Yeah, so your question is how are we going to attract more holders into Hectagon? Yes, that is actually a very difficult question to answer, because yeah, we are trying to find the answer to that every day. So as me and Katie, we are working on growth and marketing. Our job is to trying to bring Hectagon to more and more audience and holders, investors out there. So our current marketing efforts is that we are doing advertisements on multiples. Currently, we're doing advertisement on around 300 display signs, and we are doing a PR. Global PR. We are working with the tier one PR firm for top one, like top tiers blockchain projects like Binance or Huobi, KuCoin, Polygon. Yeah, and we are working with them so that we can bring the Hectagon branding to global investors out there. And also we are finding, actually we have worked with more than 50 KOLs and community leaders in the blockchain space. But we trying to to like finding more and more of them and more high quality of them. And we are finding a new batch of KOLs for the upcoming months. So yeah, if there's progress on that, we will update with you guys. And also, so that's the first effort that we're trying to bring the Hectagon name to as much audience out there as possible. The second effort that we're trying to work on is partnership. So partnership is actually the thing that haven't been our focus in the past few months, because we haven't got all of the like workforce to do that, bandwidth to do that. So now it's the time that we kickstart the partnership. So there are multiple types of partnership that we can work on and help to like bring other projects or bring other communities to become our holders. So the first thing is that when we start to invest into projects and when we start to due diligence with projects, we will start to do marketing with the project themselves as well, so that we can bring the name of Hectagon and promote about Hectagon to the projects communities. So that is one of the pool that we try to tap on. The second partnership that we are working on is integrations with wallets or partnership with launchpads or VCs, so that we can we can leverage their existing user space and community members to know about Hectagon and like promote about the benefits of holding Hectag tokens. Yeah, so that is the two things that we are working on. The third thing is that because Hectagon is a DAO, so currently we are trying to establishing proposing many multiple community campaigns that we can leverage, that we can engage our community members, existing community members, to become our ambassadors, become our promoter, become like our micro influencers in their own network, so that we can spread out the word of mouth effect to many other audience, many other investors, retail investors out there. Yeah, so yeah, the first thing is it's marketing efforts. The second thing is integrations and partnership, and the third thing is leveraging our community members to spread out news and information and branding of Hectagon to many investors out there. So I hope that it answers your question.
Yeah, great. I mean, I'm really happy that you all have plans for this. It was quite detailed and everything, and it's all planned out. So thank you so much for that. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan. Yes, and I have another question from Eden. Hello, Eden.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you well.
Okay. My question is, we are in a market with generally downward trend and many projects have failed due to various reasons. So what strategy currently are you using to attract people who are really invest in this project?
Yes, thank you. Ling, do you want to answer this question?
So, Felicia, can you repeat the question for me? I can't quite catch it.
Yeah. We are in a market generally downward trend and many projects have failed due to various reasons. So what strategy are you currently using to attract people who are really invest in this project? Thank you.
All right. Yes. Okay. So first of all, I think this is also related a little bit to Ryan's question as well. Aside from all the marketing and communication efforts that Felicia and Katie is working on, one thing that we also have to keep in mind is that Hectagon so far we haven't done a full cycle of our product, right? So we launched for about until this week we launched for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks now, and so far we have only been focusing on promoting the tokens, selling the Hectag tokens. But the actual utility of Hectagon is that once we accumulate the treasury, we start making investments, and with open food chains, and only up until now that we're able to make a proposals to start making the first investment to have a full cycle of what Hectagon operation, what is going to look like. And once we start making investment, I think there's two things that going to be positive in terms of us attracting new users and new holders. First of all, for every project this year, I have been speaking with a lot of projects, and all of them struggle to build communities and attracting people. And so far with Hectagon, what we see is that we can probably do a better job attracting more people and new people into the protocol. But what we have been doing quite well so far is being transparent and also keeping a constant communication with our community members. And I think everybody's quite like that. So we would like to do the same for every project that we're investing in. Aside from advising them, we would like to help them to build their community as well. And by helping people, helping other projects build their communities, that's also an opportunity for us to marketing, to talk about hackathons, and to invite people to become part of our community members. Because for us, one of the things that when we talk to a PR firm or a marketing firms, one of the things that always jump out to them is it's quite hard to communicate about the idea of Hectagon. So it's going to be easier to attract members in a more indirect ways, where we attract them through our investee communities, through our investee, they know about Hectagon, and then they join later. And then okay, so now let's go to the bear market part. So far after we've been running Hectagon for about 6 months, and having our token launch for about 1 month, the difference that we see in the bear market is just that the only difference we see so far is that there's not much hype in the market. There's not much people who just blindly throwing money at projects and protocol anymore. And I think that's a good thing, because during the bear market, you don't have the pressure that your token have to constantly go up and up, and then people just go buy your token and then sell them off very quickly. In this market, normally, if someone decided to join communities or becoming a holders of a protocol, usually they research about that protocol quite heavily, and that's give us the opportunity to build real relationship with our own community members, and I think that will just get amplified better in when the market pick up again. Yeah, I hope that's answered your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Eden and Ryan. Anyone else have other questions? I see in the chat box, Debs, one of our androids, having she replying one of the questions that has been getting very common in the community. That is, any updates or dates on the centralized exchange listing. So as we have shared with you in the community and in an announcement in community calls, we according to our backers, our advisors referrals, we have been in talk with some of the top 10 centralized exchange, but it's still in the process. So we don't want to rush this because it's it's a huge milestone that we want to be very thoughtful and careful on the process execution. So our target, we cannot share with you the firm date right now because it's still in the process. But our target is we are going to make it in the next 3 months. So I hope that we can deliver that even sooner than our target. Yeah, so I hope that answer the community questions. So yeah, trust the process, guys. Yeah, so I think if you do not have other questions in the community call today, then I think we can wrap it up here. So thank you so much for joining the community call today. I see many familiar faces that have been with us since the very first one. And I hope that in the next community call, we can still see you and welcome new folks into our weekly call. So we are planning to have, like in the last 4 sessions, each one has a different schedule, so it might be a little bit confusing for you guys about when to jump in the call. So we are thinking about sticking with this schedule, maybe this time every Friday. If that's great for you, I hope that you guys will participate in the next call as well. So yeah, many exciting news will be coming in the next week and next month. So we hope that you guys will stay with us, share with us, and contribute as much as you can to grow Hectagon DAO. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.